Hey, what is going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning. Happy Tuesday to each and every one of you. Wow, what an interesting time to be involved in the digital asset space. The collusion is becoming more and more evident out of the SEC. Becoming more and more evident coming out of the SEC. We're going to get into that in a little bit. I'm going to share a tweet that I put out with you guys as well. Very, very.
Joining us now, the aforementioned Charlie Gasparino. The first time I've seen you.
You say smelled me.
Very, very interesting time for sure. Fox Business has been all over with Charles Gasparino covering the SEC versus Ripple. Some interesting stuff coming out from now another person from Fox Business as well, a lady, and I have to remember her name, but she is sharing some stuff as well. We're going to go over that. Look, the market is doing what the market does. Bitcoin around 42,000 last I checked. We will go over that. Interesting article coming from Fox Business as well on this SEC versus Ripple. And Charles Gasparino asked a very, very interesting question in reference to Ethereum and its ICO with Joe Lubin and the likes. So we'll cover that also. But I got to tell you, we said on this channel time and time again that, this is not going to just go away. And this is not about being against Ethereum. This is about the lack of a level playing field. This is about the SEC, people at the SEC, these regulators doing harm to the greater American public on behalf of themselves. This is picking winners and losers to an extreme, to another level, and it's being exposed. And then we got Gary Gensler, him hauling around from one thing he said in 2018 to completely flipping today. And you have to ask yourself, why is that? Completely flipping. When you look at Clayton before Congress or in a hearing, and you look at Gensler, it is one of the most disgusting things you'll ever witness. The hawing, the just total disgusting show or display of the lack of display of any integrity is just unbelievable. It's sickening. Shout out to Stefen W. Huber, share some very, very interesting tweets. We will get into that as well. So guys, listen, this is your XRP Ripple daily news in around 0 to 10 minutes. So hopefully this will not play. SEC versus Ripple case could establish limit on the agency's future involvement in crypto regulation. This is out of Fox. This comes from Fox Business. The case could establish how much authority the SEC has over regulating the 2.2 trillion crypto market cap. And before I get into this, let me go over the market real quick with you guys. Look, Bitcoin's at $42,814. The overall crypto market cap is at $1.98 trillion. BC backer, ABC correction, he called it. He said, it could possibly be an ABC correction. And looks like the ABC correction narrative is playing out. Ethereum is all the way down to $3,000 and Cardano's at $2.15. Binance coins at $368. XRP is under $1 at 93 cents. Solana's $138. And you can see on the 7 days, double-digit loss for Cardano, double-digit loss for XRP, double-digit loss for Solana, Polkadot's a double-digit loss. So a lot of red in the market on the 7-day. Avalanche is still in the green at 20%. It's a DeFi platform, right? 25% in the minus for Terra Luna, another DeFi. Chainlink's 12% in the minus. So interesting time. But after the ABC correction, wow, things will look really, really good. So if you can hodl strong through the madness, that'll be really, really cool. Cosmos, the Atom tokens at $34.91. Bitcoin Cash is under $600 at $540. Interesting stuff. Chainlink is under $30. It's at $21 now. So, hey, if you got some dirty, nasty fiat to deploy into the market, you'll have some. You'll have a lot of choices. Polygon is at $1.16. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness, I have to check now. I have to check Aave. I have to check Juan Swap, see what's going on there. I'm glad I took the cautious approach on both of those platforms. So we'll check that out and see what's going on. VeChain under 10 cents at 9.5 cents. So the market is doing what the market does. I only seen one green. Shiba Inu is still green after 7 days, 9.3% in the green. Oh, this CeeLo, 28%. Avalanche, CeeLo, Shiba Inu in the top 50 looks like that are still in the green. So let's go over this article here. SEC versus Ripple could establish limit on agency's future involvement in crypto regulation. The case could establish how much authority the SEC has over regulating what used to be the $2.2 trillion market cap crypto market. So it's very, very interesting stuff here. A seemingly esoteric legal battle involving the SEC and fintech startup Ripple Labs could provide clarity on how much authority the SEC has over regulating the $2.2 trillion crypto market. Interesting stuff. The bad blood between Ripple and the SEC began in December of 2020 when the SEC filed a lawsuit alleging Ripple Labs, a global payments platform, had violated securities laws by failing to register its XRP cryptocurrency as a security. The move was one of the last made by then SEC Chair Jay Clayton before he left office following Joe Biden's victory over Trump in the 2020 presidential election. So I'm not going to go over all of this article, but I do find it awesome that Fox Business is starting to pick this up. I really do believe that to be the case, but I do like this quote here from Pat Toomey. Chairman Gensler and the SEC must lay out clear guidelines on what cryptocurrencies they view as securities in which they do not. Senator Pat Toomey, ranking member, and that's a quote from Senator Pat Toomey, ranking member of the U.S. Senate Banking Committee, told Fox Business, regulation, another quote, regulation by enforcement is extremely objectionable and will stifle domestic innovation. Let me share something that Notorious XRP put together. I think this is just really cool. Take a listen to this in reference to Chair Gensler. This is in the fall of 2018 at MIT.
So we already know in the U.S. and in many other jurisdictions that 3/4 of the market are not ICOs or not what would be called securities. Even in the U.S., Canada, and Taiwan, the 3 jurisdictions that follow something similar to the Howey test that we've talked about, 3/4 of the market is non-securities. It's just a commodity, a cash crypto. So you'll hear debates about initial coin offerings and what's a security and what's not a security. Relevant and important debate. But for 3/4 of the market, it's not particularly relevant as a legal matter, as a regulatory matter.
Half is Bitcoin, 55% or so in that slide. But Ethereum is quite big. A currency called Ripple that you might hear in the banking sector is probably third, if I remember. I think there is a reasonable case to be made that if you can come into compliance, if the Securities and Exchange Commission gives some number of months, and I don't know what that is right in a period of time, but some number of months or a year or whatever to come into compliance, then they'll look forward. For Ripple and Ether, or maybe it's, you know, EOS or NEO or something, you know, but for the big market cap ones, there needs to be clarity in the market. And if the clarity in the market is that they're not securities, they might still be commodities, they might still need to comply with all those laws and so forth, but I think it's a period of time. But
so Ether would be like the BTC and Bitcoin, or like the XRP and Ripple. It's sort of the glue that holds the system together.
So you said that you guys are looking to incorporate and do this out of Switzerland, and you're purposely, you live in Canada, right?
Yes.
And so you're purposely not doing it in Canada, and you're purposely not doing it in the U.S.
A large part of that is regulatory reasons.
Okay.
A large part of that is regulatory reasons. Okay. A large part of that is regulatory reasons. Okay.
So
we already.
The challenge with Gensler still is, first of all, today he says, you know, most ICOs are securities. 2018, he said 3/4 of the digital asset space tokens were not secured. ICOs were not securities. He also said that there needs to be clarity in 2018, 2019. There needs to be clarity. And then today he says there's absolute clarity. Things are absolutely clear in the market. So which one is it? Which one is it? And again, when you have this regulatory body that has essentially has zero oversight, is a challenge, right? They want to be regulators, but they have no one to oversee them and their missteps. No one from Congress, besides Senator Toomey, is looking completely at the SEC and what the SEC is doing. What is done in the past with Clayton and what it's doing today. And that is what we need. This is the reach. When we reach out to our respective Congress people, this is what we need to have done, because it is clear, and I'll share some other tweets with you, that it is clear that there is some serious misdealings going on, some serious, dare I say, collusion that took place in reference to Ethereum and the SEC. And it is clear. I mean, Hester Peirce constantly to this day is being ignored by the people at the SEC when it comes to her saying that there's no clarity, and also why not put together this safe harbor. So it stinks, guys. It stinks. It looks really, really, really bad. Let me share some of the tweets that I have for you guys. Here's one from Charles Gasparino. Let me share this one first. This is from Eleanor Tweeted. Or Tourette, probably is Tourette, journalist at Fox and producer at Fox Business, journalist and producer at Fox Business. Regulation by enforcement is extremely objectionable and will stifle domestic innovation, Senator Toomey tells Fox Business. So she put this out. SEC versus Ripple could establish limit on the agency involvement in crypto regulation sources. So for her to put this out, I think it's pretty cool. She is producer over there. Fox Business is definitely getting involved in this, in helping to shed some light to them. They see this as being newsworthy. And I think that's hugely, hugely important. Charles Gasparino says, still waiting for the SEC to explain to me why past blockchains were not in violation of disclosure rules when they were using their crypto to finance the build out. I get why these are not securities now, but why weren't they in violation then? XRP community deserves an answer. That is really, really good. That is really, really good that he said that. Interesting stuff. So shout out to Charles Gasparino and those at Fox Business. We appreciate you taking up the cause with us, joining in this fight to just kind of expose. And this again, this is not about picking on Ethereum. This is about exposing the misdealings, right? Impossible, looks like possible collusion that took place with Joseph Lubin. This is what it's looking like. And again, let me share a tweet that I put out in reference to that. Let's see if I can find it. Like, why are my tweets not in the beginning here? Because it's very, very, very interesting. Let me go here. Very, very, very interesting. Someone retweeted it. I said, I tagged Gasparino and Deaton. Ever ask yourself why Joseph Lubin is the only, in capitalist, crypto advocate to this day that believes that the SEC has given clarity to the crypto space? I have not heard, to this day, I have not heard one person in crypto say, yeah, you know, I think it's pretty clear. Not even freaking Mike Novogratz, big time Ethereum, buds with Lubin, has said that. Take a listen to this.
The messaging needle, where I mean, you mentioned obviously Hinman's comments, but more broadly, do you feel like we're kind of at a place now where we're on the verge of getting some important clarity and regulations in the United States?
I think we've got a lot of pretty high quality clarity, in my opinion. The SEC has been very clear that, I guess Commissioner Clayton indicated that they wouldn't grandfather anybody, that big surprise, they're going to enforce securities law roughly like they have for many decades. And there will be lots of projects that sold securities, unregistered securities, to Americans that have received communications or will receive communications. My thesis is that the SEC doesn't want to kill blockchain for America, and so they have to be very careful, sort of have to thread the messaging needle, where they present some positive statements about Bitcoin, about Ethereum, about consumer utility tokens. So I think we're still in that phase where the SEC is communicating that we understand this is something new and it's going to be an incredibly valuable technology, but we also have rules, and all the projects out there need to pay attention to rules that are in place to preserve the sanctity of markets and consumer safety. So I'm pretty comfortable in this country and in various countries around the world that the securities law issues are pretty close to resolved. And I do think that there are going to be some bad times for some projects going forward, but I think that's going to be a very good thing. Getting clarity with respect to regulation is going to really kickstart or re-kickstart the token ecosystem.
Well, it'd be very helpful to get rid of a lot of the scammy companies in the space.
Well, and here's the deal. It seems very, very obvious to me that you in a moment, in a particular moment, like in this case, this moment here with Lubin and the people from Ethereum meeting with the SEC, you have that moment where you decide to make decisions that are going to be best for you and your project, or for the greater digital asset space. What Ripple is doing in this Ripple versus SEC lawsuit, and the reason why they took the stand from day one, like a lot of people forget this, that the XRP ledger and XRP was out before Ethereum. The company Ripple has been in that project has been working with regulators, trying to get clarity, trying to do whatever it is that they need to do to be compliant from the very beginning, before Ethereum. Before Ethereum. And when you look at how is it that Ethereum, a project comes later and is working with the SEC, got this whole Brooklyn project going on, and I'll show you some tweets from that as well, and where it mentions Ethereum as the godsend to the digital asset space in this blockchain. How is that? How does that happen? Ripple never held an ICO, ever, never, ever, ever, never. Never held an ICO, which means they didn't do some kind of fundraise to get money into the coffers before they built out a project. The XRP ledger was built before Ripple, the company, was established. It was already XRP created, the XRP ledger created before Ripple, the company. Everyone knows to this day that it was clearly that Ethereum had an ICO. Clearly a fundraise, no product, no blockchain, nothing. 9 months before they had this ICO, before Ethereum even came out with their blockchain. They had an ICO. Everyone in the digital asset space knows it. And now the world is realizing that it was an ICO. They did a fundraise. You can't watch the videos with Vitalik and know that they didn't have a fundraise. They had a fundraise. So if Gensler is so bent on ICOs, and Clayton is saying clearly, if you do something to fund a project when there is no project, that's a security. Why didn't they do anything? Why didn't Clayton do anything when he was in office? This ICO took place while he was there. Why didn't he do anything? Why didn't he do anything? And why would you then do something to Ripple, who had no ICO? You got to get it. And it's unfortunate, but the digital asset space, other if you will, projects and or camps are not saying enough about it. They just are not saying enough about it. And you think about the Ethereum blockchain, all the ICOs, the vast majority took place on the Ethereum blockchain. The vast majority. And you continue to let that blockchain exist without being brought in for questioning or held to a certain standard that you say that you have, and all the other ICOs on it. You went over on EOS, you went to over EOS, totally different blockchain. And I'm guessing Telegram as well, I don't know. But certainly EOS, its own blockchain. Went after that, but nothing with Ethereum. And again, this is not about trying to take Ethereum down. This is about why is the SEC not holding everyone accountable or letting everyone do the same thing as what they let Ethereum do. That's the bottom line. Those questions, that question has to be answered. And the more and more Fox Business continues to do this, they're going to bring up more people because they can see, they can sense that this smells. And it is very interesting to me. I find it very, very interesting that Julia Chatterley at CNN has not picked this up. Now, she has a boss, right? And her boss probably has another boss, right? Don't you find it fascinating that she has not, and I'm going to say it this way, that she has not been allowed to pick this up. She has not been allowed to pick this up because that's the bottom line. She has a boss, and more than likely her boss has a boss, right? Don't you find that interesting? I find that very, very interesting. Remember, people own these news stations, right? Right? And it's not the people that you think who own them. This is dirty. It's looking like dirty, nasty business. That's what it's looking like. And it feels like, to me personally, that a regulator making, whatever kind of money that they're making, saw money. It's very, very obvious to me. Okay. It seems very, very obvious to me that they saw the cash. What it seems like to me. Nasty. And if now it's important for us to call on our local Congress people to look into this. I think we need to start tweeting out these videos and these recordings and tagging our local representatives. I will start doing that today, as a matter of fact, to be an example, because something's nasty, and Congress is the only one who can bring in the people. This is nasty. Again, this is nasty, and Fox Business is covering it, and I really appreciate that they're doing it, because it's just what we call, it's not a good look. Like, it is not a good look at all. This is from Joseph Lubin, a quote. Shout out to Stefen W. Huber. How are you, my friend, for sharing this? He says, OMG. I'm sure we'll get clarity soon, and that there will be a very bad time for other projects, which is a very good thing. That's a quote from Joseph Lubin. Again, kind of like selling your soul. Yeah, it becomes that kind of moment, right? Where you make a decision. Are you going to do something for your benefit, right, to the demise of the entire digital space? That's what seems like what took place here. That's what it feels like took place here. Anybody, even the people from Ethereum, know that they held an ICO. It's undeniable. Like, you hear no one from the Ethereum camp saying they didn't hold an ICO. Nothing. You ever notice? Have you been noticing on Twitter or on YouTube how the Ethereum camp is completely, totally quiet on this issue? They don't say anything. They don't say anything. It's very, very interesting to me. Stefen Huber, again, it's bewildering. XRP is effectively a totally useless token, except that it is being used by Ripple to make a lot of money to fund their activities. Joseph Lubin. Never heard David Schwartz, Stefan Thomas, Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson ever call out another crypto or digital asset individually and attack it like Joseph Lubin has done. Never seen it. BK put this out here, and I think this is real important. It appears not only was Joseph Lubin consulting with the SEC to advance Ethereum, but also to harm the competition, XRP. Question, was it SEC, regulatory protectionism, and collusion? Wonder if Joseph Lubin cares to talk about it now. Can't find Joseph Lubin. Can't find it. That is a very, very interesting comment. Joseph Lubin here. The executive requested anonymity. The problem is that the bank said they have no interest in using XRP. This is from 20s, whatever, way back. Current and former executives at 7 global banks, some of whom have partnered with Ripple, say there was a scan change so they would ever entrust their corporate clients payment to a crypto. Executives requested anonymity. Joseph Lubin here says, it's bewildering, says Joseph Lubin, the founder of Consensus, a startup that developed applications based on the Ethereum blockchain. The technology used for Ether. Effectively, it's a totally useless token, except that it is being used by that company to make a lot of money to fund some of their activities. The same Joseph Lubin who had an ICO, a fund raised to fund the project. Pretty scary stuff. Pretty scary stuff. Get the story straight. Commissioner Person of the BIS panel said SEC has not given any clarity as of yet, May of 2021. Lubin of Consensus told the world they worked deeply. They worked deeply with the SEC, 7 months to reach clarity. Why not with Ripple? While nothing is clear, even for SEC commissioner, everything is clear for Joseph Lubin, logically, because he's the master behind the only altcoin in the whole crypto that got clarity, the only altcoin. Why? How obvious must corruption become to see that this government agency has engaged in it? I'm going to end that video with that statement from Stefen W. Huger. Interesting stuff, and we should just not idly stand by. Again, you can retweet a thing, you can tag your local Congress people and ask them kindly, politely to look into this obvious collusion and corruption that took place in and at the SEC. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to end this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this, that old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I are already winning. Have a great rest of the day, guys. I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.